In 1929, a group of historians dusting off the archives of the Topkapi Palace in Istanbul stumbled upon a fragment of gazelle skin that would shatter established geographical timelines. Drawn in 1513 by an Ottoman admiral, the parchment was a surviving third of a world map, densely packed with compass roses, mythical beasts, and annotations in Ottoman Turkish. But the true shock lay in its southern latitudes. Traced along the bottom edge was a coastline that officially did not exist, depicting a landmass that humanity would not officially discover for another 3 centuries. It was the coast of Antarctica. This cartographic anomaly defies conventional historical narratives. The creator, Admiral Piri Reis, was a masterful navigator and intelligence gatherer for the Ottoman Empire, not an explorer of the Deep South. In his marginalia, he openly admitted that he did not survey these lands himself. Instead, he compiled his masterpiece from approximately 20 older source maps. Some of these were contemporary, including a highly coveted, now lost map drawn by Christopher Columbus. Others, however, were ancient, dating back to the era of Alexander the Great. The enigma deepens when examining the precise topographical features of the southern continent depicted. The map does not merely show a generic theoretical landmass at the bottom of the world. It delineates the jagged bays, islands, and inlets of Queen Maud Land. More baffling still, it shows this coastline completely devoid of ice. This presents a profound scientific paradox. Antarctica was first sighted by Russian explorers in 1820, making its presence on a 1513 map anachronistic by over 300 years. Yet the ice-free coastline pushes the timeline into the realm of the unimaginable. Modern glaciological surveys confirm that Queen Maud Land has been buried under a mile-thick ice sheet for millions of years. To map it in an ice-free state suggests a surveyor was present during a period of ancient prehistory, possessing global mapping capabilities millennia before the invention of the chronometer. To understand the magnitude of this paradox, one must look at the 16th century world. The Age of Discovery was a period of intense geopolitical competition where maps were classified state secrets, guarded as fiercely as gold. European powers were blindly feeling their way along the coasts of the Americas and Africa. Cartography was a patchwork of dead reckoning, rumors, and navigational errors. The idea that a map from this era could accurately reflect subglacial topography thousands of miles beyond the known world was intellectually explosive. Piri Reis sat at the nexus of this global intelligence network. As a pirate-turned-naval commander, he had access to the captured charts of Spanish and Portuguese sailors alongside the ancient archives of the Islamic world. His synthesis of these documents was an attempt to create a definitive picture of the globe. But the ancient source maps he referenced hint at a lost lineage of knowledge, an era when unknown mariners charted the globe with a precision that would not be replicated until the modern age. The map languished as a mere curiosity until the mid-20th century, when it caught the attention of Charles Hapgood, a historian at Keene State College. In 1960, Hapgood submitted the map to the United States Air Force Cartography Division at Westover Air Force Base for analysis. The military response was staggering. The commander of the 8th Reconnaissance Technical Squadron confirmed that the lower part of the map perfectly matched the subglacial profile of the Queen Maud Land coast, as revealed by recent seismic soundings. The Air Force admitted they had no explanation for how the data could be reconciled with the supposed state of geographical knowledge in 1513. Armed with this military validation, Hapgood proposed a radical theory to explain the ice-free coastline. He called it Earth crustal displacement. This hypothesis suggested that the Earth's outer shell could periodically shift over its inner core, moving continents into different climate zones rapidly. Hapgood argued that Antarctica had been positioned further north, enjoying a temperate climate, until a cataclysmic shift pushed it to the South Pole approximately 12,000 years ago. During this temperate window, he theorized, an advanced, now forgotten civilization mapped the globe. The scientific establishment swiftly dismantled the crustal displacement theory. Mainstream geology and the emerging understanding of plate tectonics provided no mechanism for such rapid global shifts of the lithosphere. Furthermore, ice core data extracted directly from the Antarctic sheet proved decisively that the continent had been frozen solid for at least 15 million years. long before the evolution of modern humans. The ice-free mapping hypothesis, despite its military endorsement, clashed violently with the bedrock of modern Earth sciences. The ghost of Hapgood's advanced ancient civilization, however, could not be easily exorcised. If Antarctica had been frozen for millions of years, and human beings have only existed for a fraction of that time, the source maps used by Piri Reis could not possibly depict an ice-free Queen Maud land. Yet, the startling correlation between the ink on the gazelle's skin and the seismic data beneath the ice remained. The mystery demanded an alternative explanation, one rooted in the psychology of Renaissance mapmakers. Historians proposed a solution based on the concept of terra australis incognita, the unknown southern land. Since the time of the ancient Greeks, geographers believed that a massive southern continent must exist to balance the weight of the landmasses in the northern hemisphere. Mapmakers abhorred a vacuum. It was common practice to fill the empty southern oceans with a hypothetical sprawling continent, often drawing its coastline with intricate, entirely fictional bays and rivers to make it appear authentic. This theory suggests a fascinating case of cartographic syncretism, the blending of different, often contradictory, sources into a single work. Proponents of this view argue that the mysterious southern coastline on the Piri Reis Map is not Antarctica at all. Instead, it is the eastern coast of South America, bent severely to the east. Because Piri Reis was working on a single piece of parchment, he may have simply run out of room at the bottom and warped the South American coastline horizontally to fit the remaining space. While the bent coastline theory elegantly solves the chronological paradox of Antarctica, it struggles against the sheer accuracy of the map's other features. If the southern landmass is merely a distorted South America, how does one explain the map's depiction of the Falkland Islands, which were not officially discovered until 1592? Furthermore, the map accurately places the Andes Mountains in the interior of South America, a geographic feature completely unknown to Europeans or Ottomans in 1513. The precision of these details makes it difficult to dismiss the rest of the map as mere artistic license or spatial distortion. As the investigation deepens, the parchment ceases to be just a navigational tool and becomes a mirror reflecting the fragility of human knowledge. The realization dawns that our understanding of history is not a continuous, unbroken chain, but a fragmented puzzle with missing pieces. The maps of Alexander the Great's era, the lost charts of Columbus, the ancient surveys hinted at by the Ottoman admiral, all point to vast libraries of geographical data that have vanished into the fires of time. The enigma is less about who mapped the ice, and more about what else has been forgotten. The Piri Reis artifact does not exist in a vacuum. It is part of a broader, baffling pattern of Renaissance cartography. In 1531, the French mathematician Orontius Phineas published a world map that also prominently featured a massive southern continent. The Phineas map depicts mountain ranges and rivers in Antarctica with a chilling resemblance to modern topographical surveys, matching features that are currently buried under immense glaciers. The sheer repetition of these accurate, anachronistic details across different maps from different creators suggests a shared, ancient source material that was circulating in the shadows of the 16th century. Unraveling this cartographic mystery forces a re-evaluation of human capability. It implies that maritime exploration may have a deeper, older lineage than the European age of discovery. Whether these maps represent the lucky guesswork of Renaissance artists, the distorted transmission of early South American voyages, or the faint echoes of a lost, seafaring civilization, they challenge the linear narrative of progress. The data embedded in the ink defies simple explanation. The survival of the map itself is a historical miracle. Out of the vast collection of charts Piri Reis compiled, only this single, torn fragment remains, preserving just the Atlantic Ocean and its bordering shores. The missing two-thirds, which would have depicted Asia and the Indian Ocean, are lost to history. One can only imagine what other impossibilities were drawn on the missing parchment. Perhaps the true key to decoding the Antarctic enigma was torn away centuries ago, leaving us with a beautiful, maddening riddle. Today, the map rests in the archives of the Topkapi Palace, rarely displayed to the public due to its extreme fragility. Yet, its influence reverberates through alternative history and scientific inquiry alike. It stands as a testament to the fact that the past is rarely as settled as textbooks suggest. The exact process by which an Ottoman admiral acquired the topographical data of a hidden, frozen world remains one of history's most fiercely debated secrets. The shadow of lost cartography still looms over modern geography. The Piri Reis Map is a silent witness to a time when the world was vast, uncharted, and full of terrifying possibilities. It reminds us that beneath the ice of our established facts, there may lie entirely different landscapes of truth, waiting for the right explorer to piece together the fragments and decode the ultimate enigma of our origins.